Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining me from. It's 7 o'clock in my neck of the woods, West African time, and it's time to connect. All right, so I hope that you're good on the streets of YouTube. I hope you're good on the streets of Facebook as well. It's been an amazing journey through the month of September. Sorry, the month of June. An amazing journey through the month of June, and I am just so glad. We've been having conversations around leadership, reimagining leadership, and simply just saying to ourselves, right? Simply just saying to ourselves, let me adjust the microphone. Simply just saying to ourselves new thoughts, new ideas, new concepts on everything that has to do with leadership. All right. And it's been really fascinating. So we're going to get into it. First of all, I want to take time to especially thank. No, before I get there, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, please go ahead and share the link right now. Go ahead and share the link right now. Go ahead and share the link right now. I want to literally um I'm sharing the link onto all the platforms right now, and I want to literally just get everybody on board. Share the links to your friends on your pages. If you're on it doesn't even matter where you are. If you're on YouTube, on Facebook, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. All right. I'm trying to do that right now as well. Trying to share the video. All right. So I think that's been done. Um, that's been done. Okay. Just give me a second. All right. So I just want to be sure that everybody has link they're sharing. Everybody that they're sharing. All right. So final episode of this series is the final episode of the series, and I am just doing a check to be sure that people are getting on board. All right, we've got a couple of people that have joined us. So if you're here, say what's up, say hello. Um, let's let's get to be a part of everything that we are doing. All right, let's get to be a part of everything that we're doing. All right. All right. Okay. Link has been shared. One more. Just I'm trying to get this across all the platforms that we're on. We're sharing this as well, all the platforms that we're on. Okay. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's great to be here. And it's amazing. How has your week been? It's been a really fantastic, a very busy week for me. Today was especially busy. I just came in from a speaking engagement and literally just sat down in front of this device and I'm having this communication with you. And so it's been a really filled time, but it was important that I was here to break bread with you, if you like, to share with you. I want to say a big thank you to all the guests that we've had so far this month, in the month of June. They have reimagining leadership with us. They've also had conversations from their perspective, speaking to their areas of strength and expertise as to the concept of leadership. And that's very important. Also, big salutations to Paul Uda. Paul was the first guest that we had at the beginning of the month. And then Edbert Abe came in from the United Kingdom. Paul came in from Kigali. Edbert Abe came in from the UK, and we had a great time discussing adaptive leadership. When we had a conversation with Paul, he talked about the height of the leader, the width of the leader, the depth of the leader, the length of the leader, and each of those spoke to the various expressions and areas of activity and productivity of manifestations and expressions of leadership. When we spoke with Ebeta Baby, we had a conversation around adaptive leadership, understanding, going beyond technical issues to being able to adapt to situations. And I found that really interesting because in the world that we're in today, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. And whenever you have things evolve, what do? You can't abandon it. Yet you cannot compromise on the principles that you must deploy as a person. So it means that beyond your area of anchorage, you must now come to a point of adaptability that allows you, all right, that allows you, sorry, give me a second, an area of adaptability that allows you to how do I put this now? Allows you to be able to meet the needs and the demands of that situation. So situations are ever evolving, situations are ever changing, right? Situations are ever something is everly happening. But what what happens in that instance is you're not going to compromise on your areas of anchorage, which are areas of your value that are the core of who you are, what you believe in, what you think is right to do. But you will evolve, you'll find a way to meet the evolving demands of the situation that you're in. And that's a genuine leadership because leadership must be effective. Leadership must be effective. So leadership is not about this is how we've always done it. Leadership is about getting the job done. What do you need within the perimetering of your values that will deliver on the job? That's where the creativity comes in. And and this is perhaps the problem with Africa. And I say this a lot. I think leaders or rulers in Africa have not yet come to a point of realizing that um, they need to be able to determine first of all what their areas of anchorage are, and then be able to now determine what their areas of adaptability or flexibility are. So you cannot first be flexible without taking into cognizance your area of firm footing, if you understand what I mean. So your area of firm footing is absolutely important. All right. So we had that conversation around adaptive leadership, and it was very refreshing to see ways and manners that we could go about, dispensing leadership at all levels. Last Sunday, last Sunday was phenomenal. We had Love Additional was reaching us from the city of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. And as a pop-up guest was Dr. Timmy Odejide, who came in all the way from the UK and just popped in and just shared moments with us. It was amazing. We talked about the fact that leadership, the concept of how leadership has evolved over time. We also talked primarily about leading a volunteer workforce, both of them being men of the cloth and being men of clergy. It was very clear that we needed to have a conversation about how to lead a volunteer workforce, people that will come. And I remember saying to them that it was very important that we had a situation where people needed to, and I learned this from Sojo Yawole, people needed to connect with their heart, and then you develop their head, and then they will yield their experienced and trained hands to you. But what happens many times is that people just want people to give them their hands. They are not willing to develop their heads, and they don't even have the emotional strength, intelligence, or maturity to be able to connect with their hearts. Once you don't connect with the heart and you're not given to building the head by way of competence and skill training, by way of purpose and definition and visioning, that's how you connect with your heart. By way of skills training, competence and capacity building, that's how you connect with the head. And then they give you their hands, which is the deployment and the execution of the task, the interpretation of the strategies, and the development of the plans, and the execution of the tasks, of the deliverables that gives you the kind of outcome that you're looking for. So we had a conversation around that, and there was something that Dr. Tammy said, and I thought it was just amazing. Because I remember asking him, and if I had the video, I'll brought it up here. But I remember asking him very clearly, I mean, if leaders lead people, how do you get to lead leaders and not lead followers? And he said to me very profound that you have to understand that it's not every leader that wants to lead leaders for whatever selfish and minimalistic reasons that they may have. And he gave an analogy, an example, an understanding that speaks volumes to conversations we've been having month long. And he talked about how leaders, followers are given tasks, but leaders are given responsibilities. That literally blew my mind. Another thing that blew my mind from last Sunday was when Lova Deshina spoke about the things that you tend towards, positive and negative. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. You have to watch the spirit. You have to go back and watch those videos. So what are we doing today? I just wanted to give you a recap of what we've done over the past 3 Sundays, and then a little bit of top up that will help us be able to finish up our session for the month of June. I repeated something last week and I said that leadership is when you lead. Not when you talk about leading, not when you like the idea of leading, not when you read about leading, not when you study leading. All those play a role, but you don't lead until you actually lead. How do you lead in this time and age without leaving any behind? What really is the cost, the sacrifice of leadership? How do you even begin to lead in your thoughts before you lead in your deeds? How do you begin to lead in your mentality, lead in your thinking before you lead in your execution and your actions? Because leadership is something that requires all of you to be able to bring up all of us. I'll say that again. Leadership is everything that requires all of you to be able to bring up all of us. In other words, you must be absolutely committed to it, absolutely given to it, absolutely pushed to it. And every time that you have such a thing as that, you must understand that, look, leadership requires the best of you, which is why it stretches you, which is why it pulls you, which is why it engages you. But the question is, are you willing to pay the price to be stretched to deliver leadership at the level that you should deliver it? You know, the beauty of life is this, that every level requires a level of you that you have never met before, a level you have never attained. And for you to get there, you stretch. Now, that falls in line with a thought I've shared for quite a long time, that the best version of you is required to solve and provide solutions to the problems around you. So, in other words, you must stretch. You must stretch to the best version of you. You must stretch to be able to meet and deliver on the responsibilities required of you. You must stretch. And stretch is so important. Stretch is so key. That stretch is everything that you need to be able to be rightly positioned to win. That's what leadership is. That's what leadership is. That's what true leadership is. So whether it comes from the points of self-leadership, where you give the consequences of certain decisions, and you're looking at everything that adheres and aligns with the vision that you have and requires beyond participation. Remember, I talked about the illusion of participation. It requires beyond participation to be, in many regards, quote unquote, a predator rather than be a prey, as long as you're in alignment and in the right direction as regards your vision. All that is required, because if you can't give what you don't have, then fundamentally your inability to give is because of the lack thereof. So you must lead yourself. Man, lead thyself. Self leadership is absolutely important. So why am I saying all of this? Somebody watching this and wondering, well, so much has been said about leadership. I've enjoyed everything that's been over 3 months. What's more to say? Just be. The concept of be, do, and have is that it always starts with being. And being always starts from the mind. For as the man thinketh in his heart, so easy. So I want you to mentally raise the bars and the standard of your thoughts. I want you to always look beyond the scope of you and to understand what is going on around you in relation to the vision that you have and the responsibility that you have. I want you to be a system builder that will continue to link and interlink different aspects of things and ensure that builds for greater efficiency, makes it stronger, and is able to move along to deliver better. I want you to stretch to be able to produce the kind of outcomes that you want. And it all starts from being, and being starts from the mind. It starts from the mind, your mental ability, which is what now releases you to be able to craft the strategies that deliver your do. That's how you subdue the earth. That's how you manage resources. That's how you harness resources. That's how you maximize resources. That's how you take advantage, create advantage, and maximize leverages in the doing. The doing is how you raise templates and work plans and optimize workflows and everything that has to do with execution. And after doing, which comes after being, then there's the having. That's when you have. It's impossible for you to have leadership without, first of all, being a leader. But you think that you have to have a title, you have to have an office, you have to have some special kind of accolades. Have to be. No, be to have. You don't have to be, you be. Benefits of leadership without first being the leader. However, between the being and the having is the doing leadership. So it's not the doing leadership that delivers leadership and gives you the virtues and the benefits of a leader. It's being, and that being starts from your mind. I mean, think about it. Even the Bible said in the book of Genesis, it said to man, be fruitful, replenish the head, subdue the earth, and all of that. That's the doing. And then it said what? And have dominion. Be fruitful. So for you to have dominion, it starts with being. The being is before the doing. Can we have a new level of understanding of leadership? And I'm talking about self leadership here before I get to even the corporate leadership or you leading teams or otherwise. But I want to just have this heart to heart moment with you. Can you begin place and begin to accept, first of all, that the responsibility that you have is provide a solution and not responsibility for blame. I know you didn't cause the issues and the challenges and the problems around you, but you have a responsibility not to leave them like that. Yes, I know it was Bimpe, Ade, Shola, or Njideka that caused the problem, but you have the responsibility to provide the solution. So can you accept that first of all? So don't worry about, oh, since I'm not the one that caused it, since I'm not the one that caused it, then I'm not going to do anything about it. No, don't do that. You are taking responsibility not for the blame, you are taking responsibility to provide a solution. The second thing that you need to do is believe. I've always made two profound statements. The number one, you're wired to win. Number two, you're equipped to excel. Believe enough in yourself to know that you have the capacity to lead right. Because you must first be before you do and before you have. Believe. And when you believe that you have what it takes to get this done, you will do the third and very thing. Will commit. Commit is in the work you put into it. Commit is in your execution. Commit is in your prowess. Commit is in everything that you're doing. Commit is in learning the ropes, the errors, the mistakes you make along the way, the battle, the everything. You give your all, ruthless execution to it. You learn what you have to learn, you set aside what you have to set aside, you keep at it. You develop the tenacity, you develop the validation, you develop everything that is required for you to be able to have it. And then you deliver it. The fourth one, D. A, B, C, D. Then you deliver it. Deliver it so well that wherever it is in your space, your generation will never forget you. That everybody that's affected by what you've done is so significant will be undeniable. Hear me. The difference will be so significant that it will be undeniable. You must deliver. Let's get away from the trapping of begin to get uncomfortable with titles and placeholders and this and that and all kinds of monikers that are attached to your name, prefixes and all of that. Begin to get uncomfortable, be more comfortable within the work done than with the chief doctor, evangelist, apostle, all that. Let all that go. Be a practitioner, be a wholesaler, a distributor of leadership. Leadership from the pandemic in your, and the pandemic is the disease that comes from, that is everywhere at the same time. Let your leadership be cast abroad. I don't know if you understand, but I'm saying to you that you have got to commit to these things. Everything that we've learned, whether it is the place of self leadership and self awareness, whether it is adaptive leadership, whether it is serve from the place of from your heart, you still cannot give what you don't have. So I want you to commit to building yourself into one of the finest leaders in your space. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. But what happens many times is a lot of people find themselves in situations where, yes, the truth of the matter is that you might have held your beat done right all the time, but something goes wrong in the organization, something goes wrong in the business, something goes wrong in the association. It wasn't caused by you, and we're spending time, energy, that what they cost. How about taking the responsibility of providing the solution? And usually you will feel that burden, then you know that that responsibility is on you. Sometimes you have to clean up other people's messes. And if your assignment in a place for they clean up somebody's mess and you spend the time telling them about how they should know better than to create a mess, then you have not, guess what, their purpose along the path was the error that they made. So they have literally, quote and unquote, fulfilled purpose. Your purpose was to provide the solution, but rather you are viably focused on on figuring out and throwing a lot of energy and light on the problem. Everybody knows what the problem is. Through the matter, flying news, everybody knows what the problem is. But not everybody is able to, in the best way, deliver the solution to the problem. And that's where you come in. That's where people change the narrative. They're able to turn it when it's time, the solution. So I think it's important for us as individuals to come to the point of realization that it's time to step up. It's time to level up. You make a commitment that nothing will die on your watch. Where you are, the organization will not sink. That business will not fail. That relationship will not die. Just, and many times when you take up that kind of approach just because you're there, oh my goodness, you are, it means that you are willing and ready to take responsibility for solution provision rather than highlighting and cherry picking on whose fault it is that there's a problem. So it's not about the problem creators. Yes, you can do something to further avert the problem, but there's a problem on ground. Fix it. There's a problem on ground. Fix it. But let me dial back a bit and I will close here. Let me dial back a bit. I want you to understand that the place of self awareness requires a lot of clarity. And I want everyone listening to me right now, even as you will share this video on your platforms, I want you to hear me and hear me real good. You have to come to a degree of clarity as regards what it is that you're meant to be doing. Many times, I think we jump the gun quite a bit. We're trying to give people direction, we're trying to teach them speed, we're trying to help them along the path. But what we haven't taken into cognizance is that the man who hasn't vision does not need direction, he needs revelation. The man that can't see does not need speed, he needs revelation, he needs clarity first. Only when can we now deploy a strategy that takes him in the fastest possible way along the path that he has seen. Otherwise, what dots are we connecting? Because one of the major attributes of leadership is your ability to be able to communicate in a compelling manner the vision that you have. Communicate in a compelling manner the vision that you have. So when you don't have vision, what are you communicating? Hmm. What are we communicating? So if we take everything that we've said this month, and I want you to go back and watch those videos again, so important. Take everything that we've said this month, ruminate about it, then go ahead and become a sector that is waiting for you. There's a mountain that's waiting for you. There's an industry for you. There's a space that is waiting for you to show up and show leadership. It's waiting for you. There's somebody whose dream requires your interpretation. They're waiting for you. There's someone that is waiting not for you as you are, but for the next best version of yourself. Level up. There's some young lady that is waiting for the next best level of yourself, dear young man. Level up, level up, level up. And this is me just wishing you nothing but the best. Even as I bring this series, the leadership competition, to a close in this month of June. I look forward to an amazing session. We will be off the first Sunday in the month of July because I'll be transit. By God's grace, I'll be on board in air by God's grace. But we'll be back with back-to-back guests on the following weekends in the month of July. July promises to be super amazing. Thank you for doing the 6 months of this year with us. Thank you for showing up without failing. Thank you for your mail, your WhatsApp, for your questions. Thank you for simply just sitting down to hear the things that are shared, sharing your comments across. Thank you for joining from the nations of the world, the multi-continent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you like, this is our Thanksgiving session for the half year 2026. Thank you. Thank you for every thought and much more than you just showing up or you just being here. Thank you for taking here and running with them. And thank you for coming back to tell us about it. I'm looking forward to connecting with you again in the month of July. I'm looking forward to share my thoughts, my heart, my space with you again. We're going to have an amazing series in the month of July, leading and different series leading up to the end of the year. But hey, keep winning, keep walking the pathway of champions. Have a so great night. God bless you and see you in the month of July by His grace.